The more I look at these Nomos watches, the more I'm starting to get what they're doing. And what they're doing is making high quality, I don't think I can use the word affordable. I don't know what word I would use because they're not cheap, but they can't be because they're doing a lot of this in-house, including components of the movement that other big brands outsource. Nomos is doing it in-house. And you can see it in the quality of the craftsmanship in the watch. Big thanks to Exquisite Timepieces, Naples, Florida. They're the authorized dealer for Nomos, as well as Doxa and Seiko, and like over 60 brands, as well as having a very extensive pre-owned collection. So odds are, if there's a watch, brand, model that you want, Exquisite Timepieces can get it for you or have it already on their location in Naples, Florida. Reach out to my guy Tyler. I'll put his contact information down below, as well as a direct link to pick up this watch. This is the Nomos Club NeoMatik date in the blue dial. There's some other great colors, and Nomos does flirt with some unique color designs as well as bold colorways and little splashes of pink in certain models that I find very attractive. So I've yet to own a Nomos watch, but on many of my deep dive searches for watches to try to, capture something different, but still done correctly, Nomos constantly pops in to the search. So let's get into this guy here. This is on a little bit larger size. They definitely have smaller sizes. This one, probably the size that I personally would go with, and I think a lot of guys with like my wrist size and larger should look at these. You can absolutely pull off the 38s, even the 36s, but the 42 is just, it's a good watch presence on wrist. 42 millimeter case, the lug to lug is a 52. That's on the longer side for sure, but you'll see when I do the wrist shot it wears well. The thickness, or rather thinness, is only 10.3 millimeter. Nomos is known for being very thin in their watch designs. 20 millimeter lug opening, and then you can see you have polished center links, brushed outer flanks running down to this fully milled fold over clasp. Very elegant, very nice, and has 3 micro adjust. Also, check out, yes, it's not an on the fly micro adjust, but it kind of is, because look what they did. They have quick release spring bars on the micro adjust. What a perfect solution to an old design without having to get too carried away. I don't need a tool, and it's still a tradition. I like that. That is genius. That's going to be up there with, if you're not going to do the toolless on the fly micro adjust, which adds thickness and complexity, this one does not, then I think this is definitely the solution, 100%. What a beautiful design. Well done. Display case back, showing off the craftsmanship in this in-house DUW 6101 27 jewel movement. We have some good finishing, skeletonized rotor, balanced bridge, just a beautiful movement. Get that too, look at that, 30 Atmos, 300 meter water depth rating on this thing. Screw down crown is 5.5 millimeter. When you unscrew it, killer pop. It pushes your fingers out of the way. And then it has a little red reveal, making sure you have a visual reference of knowing that you need to screw your crown down to maintain that water resist. You have the small seconds at the 6 o'clock position, and then the date at the 3 o'clock position. And none of it's really upset or upsetting the balance of the dial. Yes, we have even Arabics on the dial, and the 6 is absent, but in its place, I think it's very well done. The size of the seconds, and then the 1,000 feet water depth rating just below that. Made in Germany, of course, and you can see the dial has like a little curve that kind of goes up to the edge, and then the way the markers are done, I can't tell, they're almost, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see the way they're done in that dial. they're interactive with the dial. It's not just like poured on top. It's like there's a pressed portion of the dial and then the loom is applied into that. So that's a really good attention to the detail. Very sharp handset, very legible, very clean. And the date is also very legible. It's a larger font, a larger opening on there for sure. Let's pop it on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. If you're interested in one of these, like I said, they're not giving them away. This is over $4,000, but you're talking a made in Germany luxury watch with in-house components. Doesn't always mean everything to everyone. Sometimes you're fine with just getting a Sellita, and I would say look elsewhere and, you know, spend less money. But if you have the budget and you want that prestige of having more in-house components and manufacturing with the brand, then Nomos is offering, I think, probably the best deal. Like legit, they're doing this manufacturing in-house of the small components, which is extremely difficult. And like I said at the beginning of the video, most brands outsource those components, just the way it is. They're also pretty darn good in the loom department. Check this out. Very heavy application of loom, very legible. Day or night, Nomos, check them out. We should be considering them more often. Thanks to Exquisite Timepieces for sending this over. I'll see you guys on the next vid.